What's up? This is Release Rotation. I'm your host, John W. Snyder. This is going to be a fairly quick one. I always try to keep them like 20 to 30 minutes long. This one might be under 20 minutes. NBA season's over. Oklahoma City Thunder, for now, are over. And if you haven't heard or don't know, a lot happened in the last couple days. Out of nowhere. As we all know, Kawhi Leonard was a free agent and had not picked a team yet. He was meeting and maneuvering and trying to figure out what to do. If you go back and listen to my last podcast, I said he was going to stay in Toronto or he was going to be a Clipper. And that was not a popular opinion for a lot of reasons. But Kawhi Leonard managed to get back to LA. He's, originally from Riverside, which is not too far from LA. But what happened in the process was not so great for me as an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. Not so great for the Oklahoma City Thunder organization in a lot of ways, but there is some silver lining when it comes down to it. But the other night, I guess a couple nights ago, I woke up at 2 a.m. and I just looked at my phone real quick, took a glance, and I had like 8 text messages and no phone calls. So I knew if it was a real emergency, I would have had phone calls. But I had a bunch of text messages. Like, what is going on? Because I had fallen asleep at like 11, maybe 10:30. And I look at my phone and the first one says Kawhi to the Clips. And I'm like, oh, okay, nice. All right. And then the next text message I get from another friend says, all it says is PG with like 3 question marks. And I'm like, what? Wait, and it's 2 a.m. I'd been asleep for over 3 hours. So I'm disoriented anyways, trying to figure out what's going on. And so I grab my phone, I go to Twitter, and lo and behold, Oklahoma City, who thought they were, cruising along, Paul George going to heal up, shoulders, might not start the season, but that's all right. We've got a good core in Oklahoma City. Westbrook coming back, no big deal. But Kawhi Leonard had convinced Paul George to ask to be traded from Oklahoma City to the Clippers. I mean, my goodness, what a gut punch. Insane. Oklahoma City is just an innocent bystander and just gets hammered thanks to this trade that Paul George wanted. And I'm conflicted. I'm torn. And the crazy thing is, with Kevin Durant leaving and the way he did, it can't get any worse, right? I mean, one of the top players in the league becomes a free agent, 2016, and goes to Golden State because he wants to win a championship. That was a gut punch as an Oklahoma City fan. And then this trade was another one, which, I mean, at this point, all I can do is laugh about it, I guess. I mean, it's not the end of the world. Obviously, it's basketball. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a huge deal. But when you're a fan of the Oklahoma City Thunder and you've been hurt by Kevin Durant, and you think, oh, we can turn this around. Sam Presti, who I think is amazing. There's a lot of idiots out there saying that Sam Presti should be fired. He's an idiot. Get him out of here. He's done. He shouldn't be running Oklahoma City Thunder basketball, blah, blah, blah. You're an idiot if you think that. Straight up. If you don't like it, sorry. But if it wasn't for Sam Presti, Oklahoma City would be even worse off than they are. If you go back and look at the players that he has gotten to come to Oklahoma City or that has played in Oklahoma City, it's pretty phenomenal. It is pretty phenomenal. And so I think Sam Presti is amazing, and I think, he'll figure this out. But my goodness, just standing there, minding our own business, and then boom, trade happens. And I can't, and this is why I think, people are saying, I can't believe you. This was on Twitter, obviously. So I'm making up what these people sound like. Can't believe Presti would trade Paul George. Da 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 da. He's an idiot. He needs to be fired. Look what he's done. Okay, it is what it is, but Paul George wanted to be traded. Do you really want Paul George on your team if he doesn't want to be there? Are you really going to deny that trade to happen? Because then it's going to turn out like it did for the Pelicans with Anthony Davis. And that wasn't a great situation at all. And so I 100% support Presti in that move and trading Paul George to the Clippers, because that's what Paul George wanted. It's not easy. That's definitely a tough decision. And it couldn't have been that easy for Paul George to ask for that trade after what Oklahoma City's done for him and, his relationship with Westbrook. There's no way that was easy for Paul George to ask for. And so, and I said there's somewhat of a silver lining in all of this. Oklahoma City in the trade gets 4 unprotected future draft picks, 3 from the Clippers and 1 from the Miami Heat. These are 4 first-round picks. And then they have another first-round lottery protected 2023 pick, first round again. So that's 5 first-round picks they get. And they also have the right to swap picks with the Clippers in 2023 and 2025. So there's a lot of ways you can look at this. And they got 2 players out of the deal. So they got 2 players also out of the deal. So Oklahoma City's not going to walk away empty-handed in this like they did when Kevin Durant left. At least Paul George gave us something in return for him leaving. And so maybe that's why I can look at it a little easier than with Kevin Durant. And it just isn't the same. But my goodness, we came away with some amazing first-round picks for the future. I mean, obviously, it's not going to start till 2021 and goes through 2026. So, that's 7 years from now. So, and with that, I mean, we can also use those for trades to get some other players. But then it all boils down to, at this point, I don't think Oklahoma City had a shot anyways of winning a championship in the next several years with the way these other teams have stacked themselves and just with the way that Oklahoma City's played. I don't think there was going to be a championship anyways. And obviously now there's definitely not. And so now, do you blow it up even more and just start over and rebuild? And by that, what I mean is, at this point, do you trade Westbrook? I don't know. Again, if Westbrook wants to be traded, then again, I feel like you got to honor that, right? Figure out a trade for Westbrook, which is really hard because he has been the one that stayed, who's been loyal. And that's a tough one. I can't blame him if he wants to leave. I can't blame him if he wants to stay. And, if he does leave, I'll still be a Westbrook fan, just like I'm a Paul George fan still. I'll still be a Westbrook fan if he does get traded, which I hope he doesn't. But I also want what's best for the Oklahoma City Thunder because I want to see a championship in my lifetime. I want my kids to see Oklahoma City get a championship in their lifetime. I think that'd be pretty fun for that small market team like that. And so whatever's best for the Thunder, I'm all for. And I think at this point it's just starting from scratch maybe. But I will always be an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. I'm not going to become a fan of whatever team Westbrook goes to, just like I'm not a fan of where anyone else goes. My second favorite team, though, is the Clippers, because that's who I rooted for when I moved out here 15 years ago, before Oklahoma City even had a team. I was a Clippers fan. Then Oklahoma City became my number one team. They still are, will be. But it's going to be fun, the Clippers-Lakers rivalry. It's going to be insane. That's going to be a great Christmas Day game. They have to play on Christmas, right? Lakers-Clippers, Christmas Day has to happen. So that's fun. But as an Oklahoma City fan, I'm at a loss now. I'm at a loss for words. Oklahoma City's got to do something, I think, at this point to have any kind of shot. Because now at this point, don't think they're a playoff team. I don't think they'll finish in the top 8 in the West if this is the team they carry into the season and throughout the season. There's no way Oklahoma City makes the playoffs. And that sucks. And so I don't know what needs to happen. I don't know what can happen at this point. I'm not good enough with math and the money and everything to figure out what kind of trades can work out. And that's the other thing with trades, is that it's got to be good for both teams. Or if there's 3 teams involved, it's got to be good for all of them. So it can't be a trade that's just good for Oklahoma City, or a team that's just good for the Miami Heat or wherever Westbrook gets traded to, if that happens. So I'm still trying to wrap my mind all around it, because we thought that free agency was crazy, and then that bomb dropped with the Paul George trade to the Clippers with Kawhi. Insane. So it's going to be a fun season, that's for sure. I'm okay with it, because the Warriors are done, in the sense, the dynasty's over. I don't see them winning the championship next year at all. Their best player is now a Brooklyn Net with a torn Achilles tendon. So it is what it is. But I'm really excited to see this season, because I think it's up for grabs now. You've got the Bucks, 76ers, Celtics, Lakers, Clippers, Jazz, Nuggets, Trailblazers. It's going to be a fun season. I don't think there is a hands down someone you can say, oh, they're going to win this. Because that's how I felt with Golden State the last several years. And if Kevin Durant was healthy, Golden State would have won that championship this year easily. So, and that's not the case anymore. There's no given. There's no team that's out there that is like, they're going to win it. I think it's a good toss-up now. And that's also if everyone stays healthy on all these teams. Who knows? So, we will see. But it's just crazy. So those are my thoughts on the trade. I will always be an Oklahoma City Thunder fan. It doesn't matter. I'm going to cheer for the Thunder day in and day out. That's my team. So whatever happens with Westbrook, if he stays with the Thunder, I'm going to be a Westbrook fan and a Thunder fan. Sam Presti, I think, is an amazing, amazing. It's just what he does. I think that he'll get some players in here. I think he'll figure out some trades with these picks and potentially some players that are still on the Thunder if he has to. Even to just be a playoff team, I think he'll do whatever it takes. Because obviously he wants to win. It's not like he's trying to lose and build a team that's not going to win. I think more than any GM, he wants to win, especially after losing Kevin Durant, James Harden leaving. It's crazy to think of the players that he's gotten to Oklahoma City. And I know I said that, but that's why he's amazing. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts. It's going to be a weird season, that's for sure, especially if Westbrook gets traded. It's going to be super weird as a Thunder fan. Because he's one of the original. So, it's basketball, though, and as I say, it's a business. So, people want to win. So, players are going to go where they can win, I guess. So, there you have it. Paul George traded from the Thunder to the Clippers to play alongside Kawhi Leonard. And again, I'm going to say it because I've said this multiple times in several other podcasts that the Clippers are the better organization in LA. And I still think that to this day. They got Jerry West. They got Steve Ballmer, who's got bottomless pockets to keep people there. They've got Doc Rivers as a head coach. I think the Clippers are by far the better organization. That's for sure. So, it's going to be a fun season. Thanks for listening. We'll be right back after this break. And we're back. So I got a question for you. What are you waiting for? That's my question. If you are wanting to create something, wanting to do something, wanting to make something that people will read, watch, listen to, what are you waiting for? I ask you this question because I asked myself this question a lot before I started this podcast. I think part of it was fear of failing, which I think is a legitimate fear, but why not bring that fear along with me, right? So you can come hang out, whatever, because I'm going to keep plugging along and keep doing this podcast. But what are you waiting for? And again, like I said, I asked myself this question before launching this podcast and doing this. And it came down to, I just have to create something and I have to launch it. And that's what I did, because I still don't have a clue what I'm doing most of the time with this thing. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to tweak it and make it better. I'm trying to get better at talking and articulating my point. And so that's part of this journey. You know, it's like people think like, oh, I need a better camera to start a YouTube channel. No, you don't. You're just making excuses. If you have an iPhone, you can get some equipment like a microphone and some other things, tripods, whatever, for not very much money, and you can have a successful YouTube channel. Because it's not about your gear, it's about you. Are you interesting? Because people are interesting, stories are interesting. And so stop making excuses. You don't need better equipment than what you have, especially if you have an iPhone or even a Samsung Galaxy or whatever. Like, you've got tools in your hand to do what you want to do. And so you don't need a better camera to start a YouTube channel. That's not what it's about. It's about you. And are you interesting? And are you making interesting things? You can tweak your YouTube channel, your website, your podcast, your music. If you're a music creator, you can tweak that along the journey. You can buy more gear along the way. Don't think you have to go out and buy all this gear before you start anything, because you don't. It's just an excuse. You don't have to wait for the right time, because there's never going to be the right time. It's like when people say, well, we're not going to get married yet because, our finances, it's just not the right time. I got news for you. It's never going to be the right time. Or we're not going to have kids yet. It's not the right time. We want to save up some money. We want to buy a house. I get it, because I'm sure I've thought those same things, but it's just not going to be any different. There's going to be something else, and then something else, and then something else. And so stop making excuses. Just do it. That's the best advice I can give you, because I fought this fear of failure and thinking I had to have really nice equipment and really nice things to start something and do something. Because I've been doing this podcast for over a year now, and before, when I started it, I was using a $100 mic. Not even. It was less than that. I think it was about $50. $50 mic, and was just recording it into my computer and putting it on Anchor, and done. And you don't need all these tools. So stop making excuses and just do something. If you want to start a YouTube channel, start a YouTube channel. If you want to start a podcast, start a podcast. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. And it's never going to be perfect, no matter what. If you're waiting for the right time because things need to be perfect and you need to, whatever, don't wait. Just do it. You can tweak it along the way, and you're only going to get better at what you're doing by doing it. So you're not going to start off as a pro. You're not going to start off with 1,000 followers or 1,000 listeners or 1,000 YouTube subscribers. You're not. And it might take you years to get to that, or it might take you weeks or months. But just start. Whatever it is, do something. Scratch that creative itch, whatever it is. Create something and launch it. You can tweak it on the way, especially if you're just a one-man show or a one-man band, as the saying goes. That's more where I'm gearing this towards, because Obviously, if you work for a corporation or a company or whatever, an NBA team or a Major League Baseball team, then, the stuff you create probably needs to be pretty good and perfect, but you're going to have other team members and a lot better equipment. But if you're a one-man band, don't wait. There's no point in waiting. And don't think that it's going to be successful overnight, because it's not. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. You're going to want to quit. But don't. Keep going. Because there's people that want to hear you. There's people that want to see your stuff. There's people that want to talk to you. And I guarantee you have something interesting to say. It's just figuring out what it is and how to communicate it. Right? What's the vehicle that you want to use to get your point across? Is it audio, video, writing? What is it? Figure it out. Figure out what you're passionate about and do it. Because if you're passionate about sparkling water, flavored sparkling water, I guarantee you there's a niche out there for it. People are going to hear you talk about LaCroix and bubbly and Perrier and whatever else. Bubbly, I guess, yeah, bubbly flavored water. Or if you have a niche and you want to talk about coffee mugs and why thinner coffee mugs are better than thicker coffee mugs for your coffee. There's a niche. So just do it. Whatever you're passionate about, there's going to be people who are interested in it. And whatever you're passionate about, talk about it. Because there's going to be interesting things that you come across. And so I ask that question, what are you waiting for? Because I guarantee you it's a poor excuse and someone can punch a hole in that excuse. I keep saying I'm going to have guests on here. And part of the reason I have not is because, one, it takes time, but it's also, two, is making that ask and asking someone to come to my house, be on my podcast that has 30 listeners, hang out for a couple hours and talk. Like, that's also hard because I know people and their time is very important and you can't get time back. And so that's also what's kind of holding me back. But today I ordered another mic, and so I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get some guests on here and talk about life and their interests and their passions, and to hear their story behind their story. What drives them, what gets them to where they are. And so, as I said, this is a journey. I'm tweaking things as I go, but I launched this, and now it's going to keep changing and evolving and moving and going forward, though. I can't look back. I can learn from my mistakes. I can learn from the things that didn't work, but I can't have regrets on something I did or screwed up on with this podcast, because there's only one way to go, and it's forward. And I've got all the time. It's not going to be an overnight success tomorrow. Overnight successes take 7 to 10 years. So when I'm 50, I hope I'm an overnight success. Thanks for listening to Release Rotation. I'm your host, John W. Snyder, and we will be back next week. See ya.